Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, well, good old MC Kun over here was losing his fucking mind. And that's never a good thing in a story now, is it? No, most people don't like losing their minds. But it's okay. It's okay. And as a quick aside, it has now been a day since I last recorded and I last talked about it. I played more Dark Souls if you know, in the off chance that you actually care, which I doubt you do. But yeah, I beat Ornstein and Smo very easily. I beat them on my second try. I only died once, which is, it's hard to believe as someone that's never even beaten the fucking game before. But yeah, I'm doing shockingly well. I have a problem. I'm doing shockingly well on bosses. Even the boss that I had the most trouble with still only took me like 45 minutes or so from the first time I attempted to fight them. So I think I'm overall doing well. The problem is I'm dying to the random enemies a lot. Like I spent probably about an hour and a half on the, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 enemies, I think, that you have to face to even get inside Anor Londo, into the cathedral. The 2 giants, and then the people with the electrical lances, and then the 2 Black Knights, I think, shooting fucking umbrellas at you. Yeah, I spent like an hour and a half trying to get past them. I'm having problems with just the normal mooks and not the bosses, and it's making me complacent, and I need to not be. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we? Night approached. I didn't want to do a thing. I wanted to forget everything. The word meaningless captivated me. To live is meaningless. No one will remember you. Even people like Hibiki and Shimon will be forgotten. People will forget others once they're gone, no matter how important those people are to them. Once time passes by, they'll forget everything, or glorify them like notable figures in history, like beloved people from the past. In that case, right, it was simple. What I had to do was obvious. What I had to do while I was still alive. I just had to remember. The people who taught me that were Shimon and Hibiki. That's why I'd persist, for sure. Alright. I stood up and ran back to Shimon's house, muttering to myself the names Shimon and Hibiki as I did so. Hold on just a sec. Okay, sorry, I had to adjust my mic very slightly. I accidentally raised it a bit too high when I was moving stuff around. I ran into my room and took out my notebook from my backpack. I wrote down Shimon and Hibiki. Okay. Now I could remember them. Next is... I jotted some more stuff down. Hibiki first. And Shimon. I wrote down everything I could remember about them as explicitly as possible. That was good enough. I closed my notebook and wrote, "Look at this every day," on the cover with a marker. Okay, I will. Even if I forget, I still likely look at the notebook. I just remember again after that. I just had to not forget. That was the least I could do. Hibiki, Shimon. I muttered their names again. I'll never forget you two. I made that vow to myself. Myth, Day 12, Breakdown. That's a name for a day, isn't it? I have I have some tea. Just plain tea, not hard tea. That I'm sipping on. Sadly, all of the ice melted within like an hour or so of getting it, but it's, for some reason, it's still cold. Even though I've been sitting here with, like, sipping on this tea for the past, like, 3 hours or so. Anyway, Mato, do you remember? So suddenly said that to me. Huh? What's with that tone? Did So remember? Don't you remember the bike? But I soon realized she was talking about something completely stupid. She wouldn't have been this calm otherwise. Shimon's corpse was still in that room after all. Oh, right. I did say I was going to build you a bike. I tried my best to act natural. I couldn't outright reject them either. They were still living, after all. It was just that they were missing a portion of their memories. We couldn't do it because of that birthday party. Anyway, let's build it today. Do you remember whose birthday party that was? I had a lot of ideas in mind, but I want to ask Riri-san before we start. No good. Ask Riri? Why? I played along. I recalled what Shimon said before. The plot. I couldn't comprehend what she meant. That seemed like the only hint I had, though. Followed the text. Oh, it was like Shimon was describing this very situation. Right. He said to look at something every day, so let's look at a couple of different things. Look at myth. Okay, you haven't changed stuff about that. Nothing seems to change. Okay. Well, then let's check the notebook about Hibiki. About Hibiki. Hibiki is a shadow girl who lived in the world of shadows, who looks to be somewhere between 8 and 12 years old. She loves her mother so much that they spent most of their time together. Shimon will write more about her later. Shimon, I'll write more about her later, is good friends with her. About Shimon. Shimon is the girl who brought me to the shadow world. She's sort of a ditz and a klutz. Despite living in the shadow world, she has both a shadow and a body. The chief of the shadow village took her in and raised her when she was young. She has no memories of her parents. Yeah, look at this every day. And introduction to philosophy. Yeah. Following the text, it was like Shimon was describing this very situation. Riri-san knows everything. She'll probably know about bikes. I get it. And that seemed like the wisest course of action. If that ain't gonna work, we'll just go to your world and grab one. I'd have to follow the plot in order to make a breakthrough. What? Why not? So suddenly spoke up. I missed my line. I was too lost in thought. I had to catch up. I think I refused to take her to my world. Try going to my world looking like that, you'll be arrested on the spot. I just made up a random reason. But San went back and forth all the time. It looked like I was right. Fill in the blanks. Got it? I think we'll be fine. I must have said, no. Huh? Why not? My world is dangerous. That was actually true. If she went to my world, she'd be treated as a suspicious person. She'd either be arrested or sent to a research lab if she was lucky. Not that we were going to go anyway. We'll worry about it later. Apparently, I told her to try talking to Didi first. Where is she? This was tiring. She must be in the living room. Alright, let's go. I just decided to act instead of talk. Didi-san and I are such good friends. We're like 2 peas in a pod. I should really just tune her out. Didi-san. Lady was in the living room. She knitted sitting down. Ever since we met, she was always knitting whenever she had a chance. For what reason? Or who was she knitting for? Oh, So-san and Mato-san, what's going on? She stopped knitting and faced us. There's something we gotta ask you. Yeah. Oh my, what is it? Do you know how to build a bicycle? To ride my bicycle. We want to build a bike. A bicycle. What about it? Fine, I'll just stay quiet. Could you tell us how to build? Huh? I suddenly heard a strange noise. What happened? What was that noise? I couldn't figure it out. It was all just too sudden. My eyes hurt. My vision was red. Red? Liquid? Liquid. I was wet. Red liquid was all over my body. What is this? I rubbed my eyes for a bit. Finally, my vision cleared up. Before me was So, or something resembling her. Her head was on the floor. Now you're practically a midget. Like, less than a foot. Why do you keep smiling? And we're gonna. My desk. We'll play after I finish recording, okay? Yeah, girl. Why do you keep smiling? Quit looking at me like that. What are you tilting your head for? You're probably looking diagonal at Riri and me. So's head. The head rolled. You see us backwards now. Isn't that weird? Like, for a human. I'm again not gonna scream. It took me a few moments to figure out what was going on. Why? For what reason? Why did So explode? That can't be. That's impossible. 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 I don't understand. What's the possibility of a human suddenly exploding? I tried referencing one of my textbooks. The possibility was 0%. It didn't matter if it was a possibility at all. Actually, it was just impossible. That's why I didn't understand why that happened. What was doing there on the floor? Who? What's wrong, Meito-san? Nothing. I was just bored. Really? Well, feel free to relax here. You're still knitting? Yes, it'll be done soon. Oh, really? It looked like it was for a guy. I guess she was knitting something for someone else. Why not tell me who it's for? It's still a secret. Could it be this? I gave her a thumbs up, which in my world was a sort of dated, roundabout way of asking whether she had a boyfriend. What? I didn't think she'd figure out what I meant. Who knows? But she did. I really do know everything. Yeah, I'm pretty wise. Don't say that about yourself. Anyway, you know what a bike is, right? A bike? Yeah, I do. But why? Well, So wanted to... So... No. What happened? What's going on? So? I remembered. I remembered everything. Everything. So I ran. Bleh. I've throat is kind of itchy. There, hopefully that'll make it better. I didn't want to forget. I held back my urge to vomit and tried my best to steady my trembling hands as I wrote in my notebook. I finally managed to calm my nerves. Stay calm. I had to assess the situation. But the smell of so was hanging too heavily in the air. It smelled like so. I had never smelled anything like it before, but it was definitely So's scent. So's scent. It smelled metallic. I went into the hallway and threw up. I needed to take a bath. I calmed down in the bath, or I thought I did at least. What the hell is going on? I couldn't understand. It made no sense. I tried to make sense of it, but Shimon suddenly died, and Hibiki vanished. Her corpse hasn't been found. And so suddenly exploded. That was all. I truly had no idea what any of that meant. That this all made the least sense, made the most sense. What should I do? What was I supposed to do? I have no idea. I wanted to cry, but I realized something. It was strange. Why didn't I feel that way sooner? Because it all happens too suddenly? Because everyone I cared for died so suddenly? All I could do was sob. I can't cry on command, unfortunately. I can make myself cry. I am capable of doing that, but it takes some effort. And usually making myself cry means, getting into the headspace where I can cry. So it's not something I can do easily or want to do regularly. Feebly cry. Even if it was a waste of time, that was all I could do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All I could do were pointless things like crying. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just kept apologizing. I'd be able to keep going after I cried a bit more. I had to keep remembering everyone. I'd do my best to just do that. But even that, such a simple thing, seemed meaningless. I wanted to deny that fact. But I was likely wrong. Everyone was already gone. Everyone I cared about so much. Cared about? By some sort of possibility. Was I included in that possibility myself? The answer was likely yes. I must have been. My guess was only based on circumstantial evidence, but there was no discomfort at hand with what was happening. It was simply impossible to understand. I was scared. I was scared of dying. I was scared of disappearing, because death meant the end. Game over. The final stop for one's consciousness. The end. That was terrifying. So I was scared. There was no contradictions within my thought or with my thought process. Contradiction. I was scared. Contradiction. But I still wanted to deny that fact. Contradiction. Why? The situation wouldn't change no matter how I reacted, whether I got emotional or looked at things with some degree of rationality. Corpses. Contradiction. Differences from before. Contradiction. So cold. Truth. Escape. The past. Bonds. Love. Parents and children. Composition. The stage. The actors. Death. Life. God. God. Existence. Humanity. Theater. Backstage. Stage wing. Unravel. Unravel. Crossing. Mystery. Papa. Mama. Girl. Smile. Disappear. 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 Truth. I gasped. I was being naive, but I shouldn't have been, and that was why. Yeah. Yeah. Went mad. For now, I'd scream for as long as I could, until I was satisfied, even if my throat was torn to shreds, even if time continued to pass by with no purpose. No purpose. Nothing. In the tatami room, the boy's voice rang, the broken melody groaned, his cry was nearly a scornful laugh, on and on. There was no end, I think is what that last line said. Myth, Day 13. Loss of identity. And I think that's where I'm going to end off this episode. Next time, I think we're going to drift further and further into madness. Sorry, I'm watching the audio levels and kind of being very slightly paranoid about my headphones not working right, or my audio interface not working right, or me accidentally. Never mind. Next time, though. Next time. Well, I hope to see you all there.